try and touch them to put them in their papers. So let's just take this part. We'll set this aside for now, okay? Right over here. And while we're waiting for those to skin over, we might as well do that other side project that we were working on with the chocolate. So let me get my pan back out. Okay.
Yep.
All right, now this is kind of a neat project. I really like making these. Number one, they're absolutely delicious. Almond paste with chocolate fudge is just, I don't know, it's one of my favorites. I like a lot of things, but this is definitely one of the things I really, really like a lot. Okay, same thing with the paper, under, over, peeling it back so that we can get a nice smooth cut, and then the rest will be protected. Okay. Now I'm gonna, again, go back to my French knife. Cut a piece off so I have a nice smooth edge on the one side. Put that right there. Okay, so now for this, instead of doing the 1 inch like we did with the Petit Fours, we're gonna go more like about 1 3/4 inches, maybe 2 inches. Okay. We're going to cut a considerably wider strip, basically. Okay, so we'll do the 1, and we'll do the 2. Okay, here's 1, and here's 2. Okay, this we can put back in the cooler. Put this over here. Thank you. Okay. Now, this is a really... Okay, so now what we want, we have our 2 pieces. We're going to put them right up against the side of the table here. Okay, now I'm going to take my thin boning knife here, and I'm going to set my knife on the side of the table at an angle like this. And basically what I'm looking to do is cut this corner and the bottom corner. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If you miss or you're a little off, it's okay. Basically, it just means that one side's going to be a little bigger than the other. Okay, remember this is very, very cold, so because it's solid, you want it to be solid. You also don't want it to fall on the floor. That's why I'm being so careful here. Okay, so now I went all the way through. Let's do this other one here while we're at it. Alright. Almost there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go up and then up and then switch it around and then down. So that was up, switch it around, and then back up, and then back down. Okay? Now, here we go. We're going to take some more fudge. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. Now we're going to put a nice layer of fudge on here, like so. And you can't do too much, so be generous with it. It is chocolate. Remember, the cake is the vehicle to get the fudge into the mouth. So just remember that. All right. So before this sets up, what I'm going to do now is just pop this guy up, bring this guy over, and then give it a little pinchy. Okay?
Fudge sandwich.
Yeah, baby. All right. So there's the one. Now we'll do the other one here real quick. Bring it out to the edge. Okay. I'm also using the side of the table as my guide with my spatula. See?
Yep.
Okay, now this cake is very forgiving, okay? It's barely even cake. It's more like, it's very dense and rich. And you can basically maneuver it however you need to. Okay. Remember, just pop it back up and then bring this over. And then there you go. Okay. Notice I'm smoothing it out with my fingers as I go across. Okay? So now move that across like so. And this across like so. And now we're going to put these guys on a glazing rack like so. Okay. This can be a messy project. That's okay. That just means it's going to be that much more delicious. Okay.
Messy means yummy.
Messy means yummy. Okay. All right. So there we go. Get all that going. Okay. So now, just like with our Petit Fours, we got a new pan. We got a nice clean parchment paper. Now, notice that I put the items on the screen before I put the screen on the paper. That's because whenever you put things on a screen, there's going to be crumbs on the bottom. Okay, so I always like to let the crumbs fall on the table and then put the screen on the pan afterward. Okay, so last thing we need to do really is glaze these guys. I have a fresh batch of fudge that's all set to go. I just made it a short while ago. Just needs to be heated up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just take this, put it in the microwave for a sec. Now it doesn't need long. You don't want it to be hot. When it's too hot, then it'll just run right off quick. So there's kind of a special touch where you want it to be liquidy, but not too hot. All right, 13 seconds. That's probably about right. Okay, this does not feel warm to the touch, but it's nice and loose and liquidy. So I know it's right. Okay, now it's always good to give an extra stir. Oh yeah, that's nice. See how it's not too runny? Okay, but yet it's loose and liquidy. Okay, so now, sometimes I use a ladle, and sometimes I just use a pitcher to pour with. Okay. So we're just going to let that drain over. There we go. See how stiff, how looks like there's so much on there? Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to run off. So it's not like it's going to end up staying that full. Okay, you always want to add a little more than you think you need, and then let the extra run off. That's all. Okay, all right. So now this looks like a like a big chocolatey mess right now, but look at this. Watch what I do. Now when you lift up here like so, and you give a little tap, okay, now what we'll do is we'll put this screen right over here, and now this is ready to chill. Okay, so we'll chill this guy. All right. So we have our chocolate, more chocolate. This we don't need now. We'll save that for something else later on. Okay, now basically it's time to check on the Petit Fours to see if they are glazed over enough that we can pick them up off the screen so that we can put them on papers. So let me just grab a plate right here. Okay, here we go. Petit Fours are over here. Now, they really do need a couple of hours to sit and dry properly, okay? Notice they still look wet, okay? That means that they're gonna be tacky. I can lift them off the screen and put them on papers and there will be no problem. The reason that we would want to let these set longer would be, number one, to make sure that that film is solid so that when we handle them, they don't get messed up. You don't want fingerprints or anything like that in there. And also, you want to make sure that they've completely finished, the glaze is completely drained off. Okay, as you can see, we have a big puddle full of glaze on the pan. We have just a couple of little drips, okay, see, that are still falling off. But as you notice, look how you can see through the layers, okay, like before. Okay, remember before how much sugar was on there. And you could not see through those, through the sugar to get to these layers. Now you can see through, you can see what's inside, okay? Now, if you were to eat these, that sugar layer is not gonna be overwhelming, okay? So that's what we're looking for. We want it to be tight enough. You wouldn't want it to be any looser than this because really this is about as loose as it could be and still be there, okay? If you make it any tighter, then it's just gonna take forever to glaze them, okay? So we've tried to find our sweet spot and that's what you're looking for. As you do this project at home and you do it once or twice, get a feel for it, you'll tweak your glaze to be a little tighter, a little looser, depending on what makes you feel good, what makes it feel right for you, okay? Remember, you can't screw it up. This is wonderful almond paste and sugar. You can't mess that up, so. All right, so let's use a spatula here, and we'll grab a couple of papers from over here. Okay, and basically what we want to do is just get underneath and then nice. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna, I don't like to touch them, but if I have to, I will. Okay, and basically you just want to be as gentle as possible with them. Well, they're very delicate at this point. Okay. There's those. Yeah, I'll put a couple more on there, I think. Now, to decorate them, I can actually make a chocolate bag and do some little fancy scrolls or little spirals or little musical notes or whatever, and that would look very nice. You could also put a little half a rosebud on there out of the buttercream. You could also put a chocolate curl on. So there's all kinds of ways that we can actually garnish these and make them look even more beautiful than they are now. So, okay, so now there's the Petit Fours. Well, let's let these sit over here. And I know my loaves aren't really cold enough yet, but we're hurrying it a bit, so we'll go ahead and cut these up so that you folks can see how they look when they're on the plate. And for this one, we'll use the boning knife here. Okay, so my first piece I'm just gonna leave off to the side, like so. Okay, now okay, you want to go about the width of a piece of bread, maybe. Okay. What I like to do is cut a couple of them. Sometimes I like to clean my knife in between, you know. That way you don't get a big old smudge on the top. Okay. So now, very carefully, I'm just gonna put these like so. So you can either stand them up like this, which is pretty neat. Okay. Or if you cut them a little thinner, you can lay them down on their side too. And that looks very sharp as well. Let's see. Okay. And do another one here. Okay. All right, look at that. Don't those look beautiful? Okay, so you want to try one? Here, I think I think we should eat this end and not even tell anybody about it. Here we go. I'm just gonna cut this in half here, and
well, it won't be known until the video comes out.
Oh sure.
So we'll have a few weeks.
All right, here you go. Here, have that.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and have this little guy.
Oh, I'm waiting. I've been waiting for this.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Didn't I tell you the chocolate to almond paste is the bomb diggity? Mm.
Oh my god.
Wow. Yum. We got to get the wives down here.
Oh yeah.
That's why I did 6 instead of 4 on each one. Because they're going to appreciate it. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed our video. And I hope that you've learned something and you'd be inspired to try this at home. Because really, this is a wonderful recipe, wonderful dessert. You can't go wrong with it. There's so many different ways to enjoy it. So just remember, bake with love and joy. You can never go wrong when you do that. It's always going to be delicious. So happy baking, folks. Thank you. Enjoy.